have won 5 in a row entering today. And here we go, underway from the Moody Center. Texas, the number 5 team in the nation, number 8 in the top 16 revealed the other night. The 8th-seeded Longhorns heading into this matchup. Taylor Jones kicks it out to Aaliyah Moore underneath, misses. And Iowa State back the other way. The Cyclones 14-9 overall in the season. A very young Iowa State team led by that freshman, Audie Crooks.
We talked earlier about the fact that I think there were questions about Audie Crooks and would her game translate from high school to the college level, and it certainly has. It's taken a bit of time, but she is really able to dominate in the paint.
She was in an absolute battle in the paint with Aoka Lee. In that midweek contest, got hit in the eye, bloodied knee, arm was rolled up on every single time she got up with a smile on her face. Made one of 2 free throws there. There in the opening moments of this contest, Aaliyah Moore, the junior, down low with the first bucket of the day for the Longhorns. On this team that loves to shoot the 3. Do the Cyclones. Instead, they go down low, and Crooks denied by Taylor Jones. From the outside, Shay Holle buries the 3-pointer, the Austin native for the Longhorns.
First 2 plays, Texas goes inside to their bigs where they have an advantage with size, with depth, with experience. And then guess what? Shay Holle knocks it down. She's much more aggressive as of late offensively. That
one swatted away from Crooks by Texas's freshman Madison Booker. So the game plan for Iowa State, feed the freshman, but Texas responding. On the other end, Shaylee Gonzales makes it an early 7-1 Texas lead. Ryan trying to settle the offense, kicks it to Addie Brown. She goes glass, 7-3.
Yeah, Addie Brown is such a tremendous talent as well. You look at the top 10 freshmen in the nation, her name is on that list.
The top 25 in the nation in threes, but Shay Holle feeling it early for...
This is a more versatile team, though, a different-looking team than he's had in the past 4 or 5 years.
Ryan, nice dish down low by Natabu. Isnel Natabu, the junior transfer from Sacramento State.
Natabu will split time with Crooks on the interior.
And works it around to Shay Holle. Holle, the midst of a career year. Here's Booker spinning, turnaround. Money for Madison Booker.
Everybody compares her to KD, and you can see why. A really terrific player. Just had a chance to shine right now with Texas.
Likens her game more to Carmelo Anthony than any of those other players she mentioned. The close miss, meanwhile. And they're playing strong defense again this year, but the offense has been maybe the best of his tenure here in Austin.
Slowed the pace down a little bit, but still like to score. This last few weeks, they have buckled down. The scores have been lower. The stakes have been higher.
The All-American point guard tore her knee in late December. They were 12-0 with her, looking like legit contenders. Lost her for the season late December, then lost 3 games over the next month. They've seemed to hit their stride. Emily Ryan from outside. First 3 of the day for Iowa State, and that extends the longest streak in women's college basketball to 917 consecutive games with a 3. Texas, again, struggled without her at first, but seems to have righted the ship since then.
Especially that first month, I thought Texas played very well, and then they got hit by Oklahoma and just run out of the gym on their home floor. And I think there was just a lot of conversations with the team. Had to do some talking about what they needed to do to get better, and that's when their defense really stepped in.
Audie Crooks with the bucket underneath, so Iowa State pulls within 2.
In the starting role, she has been just really good on the interior, able to score most of the time.
With 4 on the shot clock, Shaylee Gonzales, with his senior from Gilbert, Arizona.
I think Vic Schaefer talked to his guards and said, I need you to be more aggressive, and that's carrying over into today's game.
Kelsey Jones, the younger sister of Ashley Jones, we mentioned, out of bounds off the freshman.
Yeah, good ball movement right here against the zone. Again, the Cyclones are running, and that's the shot that Shaylee Gonzales can knock down. Has had a little bit of a slump, it feels like to me, as of late. Can be a little hot or cold at times, but she's a terrific shooter.
After the turnover, Madison Booker, 3-time national award winner, Over to Gonzales from the other corner. The senior heating up. Addie Brown drops it off for Crooks. Blocked by Deanna Gaston. Gaston, who's still trying to get back to 100%. Coming off her best game of the season. Scored 21 points against Houston. And the block here early.
Having her back now. She's a Big 12 first-team all-conference player last season. Been injured much of this year.
This time Crooks gets the better of that. I like Crooks' reaction before that, saying, yeah, that was a block, fair, no foul there. Answered with the bucket.
Well, and she hit that bucket and came back smiling. She is not one to back down from any kind of challenge.
Well, she got knocked down at least half a dozen times in that Kansas State contest that went to double OT. And as we said, came up smiling every time. Gaston and Crooks going back and forth. Kelsey Jones, double team, nearly lost it. Bellinger shot clock at 5. They send it down low to Crooks, kicks it out wide. Jones buries it. Kelsey Jones. Iowa State can hit that shot all day long. Same goes for Booker. Bounces it in.
Booker's so good at finding that spot right around the free throw line, getting her feet set.
On the other end left, wide open is Bellinger and makes Texas pay. Texas will hold for the final shot. Longhorns shooting 60% from the field in the first. Booker makes her move, dishes it off for Shay Holle off the rim. And that will do it for quarter number 1 here in Austin. Texas with a 4-point lead, but Iowa State fighting back, getting 3 of their last 3. Flashback to the 2023 Big 12 tournament. Ashley Jones poured in 28 against Texas as they took down the Longhorns 61-51. That was the last time these two teams have squared off. Iowa State winning the last 2 meetings, trailing by 4 as we begin the second, making a 2-point contest thanks to Addie Brown.
And a terrific set play coming out of that break to get Iowa State an easy look at the basket.
Back the other way, D. Gaston working on Crooks. Comes up short. Muhammad cleaning up underneath. 2 huge free throws at the end of regulation against Kansas State, and then did it again at the end of double overtime to help pull off the upset. Ice water in her veins. And afterwards, they asked her, were you nervous at all? You're a freshman? She said, no, not at all. We practice it all day. Why would I be nervous?
Yeah, she's very businesslike about her approach.
Amina Muhammad made 1 of 2. Emily Ryan kicks it out to Kelsey Jones. Down low to Crooks. Texas right now struggling to have an answer for the freshman who's up to 7.
But it's a bit of a matchup zone. They've gone to man a couple of times.
Booker with a close miss. She has 4 points, 2 of 4 from the field. Crooks, she can hit that outside shot. Instead, it's Jackson who drains it. And Iowa State has jumped in front for the first time. By the way, looking to break the SEC consecutive wins record with their 43rd straight.
South Carolina, how good have they been?
Brown to Crooks in the paint, goes around Jones for the bucket, and Audie Crooks leads all scorers with 9.
Again, I just think that's too low of a position for Crooks to catch the ball. She's so good at spinning off defenses, using that soft touch of hers around the rim.
Jones back out to Madison Booker, who's been running the point ever since Harmon was lost for the year. What a first half for Shay Holle, continuing her career year. She's up to 8 points. Remember, a few weeks ago, I had 22 against Oklahoma. Emily Ryan weaving her way through the defense, somehow finds Audie Crooks for the bucket. Texas's offense a bit stagnant as of late. Trying to get things going. Booker with the miss.
They just seem unsure about what they need to do out there. Again, Iowa State mixing up their defenses with a little bit of zone, some man-to-man, and they look very stagnant.
Again, it's Crooks like a broken record, and the freshman continues to deliver 13 first-half points for the 6'3" first-year player. Again, the centerpiece of that elite recruiting class for Iowa State that they brought in this past offseason. Gonzales drive to the bucket and gets it.
Texas needs to figure out a way not to let Audie Crooks get the ball so easily down low.
1-point game, less than 5 to play in the half. Again, they go to Crooks, to Ryan. Crooks denied by Taylor Jones. Jones with a big height advantage over Crooks. And on the other end, they foul Jones.
You see she's on the bench right now, got potentially poked in the eye. But you just look at how talented this young freshman is. Two-time Big 12 Freshman of the Week. Three-time Big 12 Freshman of the Week.
Show off there. How about that? She said, I am not a one-trick pony. It's not just about basketball.
She is a very fun personality. Just a couple of mistakes defensively has really hurt Texas.
It's Nelnatabu with the close miss. Jones with the board. Taylor Jones, 4 points and 6 boards. Baseline, Shay Holle. Aaliyah Moore cleaning it up underneath. Bellinger, dangerous three-point shooter, clanks one off the iron. Iowa State now 0 for their last 4. Booker, the freshman, circles around in the paint and draws the whistle. Among the most talented players in the country.
And that's where she started.
Number 22, Kentucky, and number 13, Auburn. The Longhorns on a 7-0 run.
And let's see how they do with Audie Crooks back in the lineup now. She's been back for a minute or two.
Soft touch, the pass to Ryan, couldn't get it to fall. Booker looking for Gaston instead to Gonzales out by the perimeter. Booker, pull-up jumper. Can hit that all day long.
We have seen Booker take over games at times for Texas. Her ability to create her own shot.
Coming up at the half, Caitlin Clark's record-setting performance and a look ahead to Georgia and South Carolina get ready to square off tomorrow. Caitlin Clark now closing in on Pete Maravich's record. She's just 98 points shy of that for the D1 men's or women's all-time record. Again, that's coming up at the half. Less than 2 to play here in the second quarter. Emily Ryan just circling around the defense and gets it to fall 37-33.
I think that's where Emily Ryan does such great things. She's able to keep her dribble, not pick it up, and find her way around the basket, sometimes several times, like you mentioned.
Pays off. Iowa State left Aaliyah Moore wide open, passed it up. Booker starting to heat up, and that continues. She's up to double digits late in the first half. Crooks with the feed to Ryan, couldn't get it to go. Gonzales driving baseline, up and under, yes! Shaylee Gonzales! Got a 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Iowa State turns it over, and Dee Gaston makes them pay for Texas. The Longhorns on a 15-2 run. Iowa State holding for the final shot. Texas with their largest lead of the game. Crooks, Ryan, 3 on the clock. Emily Ryan off the glass, no good. And Texas will take a 10-point lead into the break.
Yeah, good job by Texas. I thought in the last couple of minutes, buckling down defensively and then picking up the pace on offense.
The game-high 13 points to lead all scorers. Madison Booker closing in on a double-double with 10 points and 6 assists. And also, we need to talk about the guard play for Texas. Shaylee Gonzales with a team-high 12 and Shay Holle with 8 as we begin the second half. There is Gonzales. Off the rim, and a whistle.
A wide open Gonzales right there. Texas playing against that 2-3 zone for the Cyclones. Good look and proceeding in the conference tournament, and they need to go and win every game, win out, as they say.
Crooks with patience down low. She's up to 15. You mentioned the postseason. The top 4 seeds in the Big 12 tournament do get a first-round bye. Texas is among those 4 seeds right now. Iowa State just outside at 5th in the standings.
A completely different look to the Big 12 tournament this year with 14 teams in it. It will be over the course of almost a week.
Shaylee Gonzales can't miss right now. She's up to 14. Crooks with 15 for Iowa State. Yeah. And drew the foul there.
Taylor Jones just out of position.
This weekend, Flyers square off against the Devils at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And tomorrow, it's the Rangers and Islanders. Madison Booker make it 12 and 6 assists for the freshman.
Madison Booker is just at an elite level. When she locks in offensively, it is so difficult to stop her with that long reach, that high release.
Ariana Jackson answers, the freshman from Iowa State. Shay Holle with 2 threes in the first half. Lobs it down low for Aaliyah Moore.
Yeah, Aaliyah Moore had been posting up for a while down there and wanted the basketball. Teammate finally found her.
Addie Brown right over Taylor Jones. Addie Brown, the only player in the country averaging at least 13 points, 8.5 boards, 5 assists. Won the Big 12 tournament a season ago.
Potentially could have a couple of injured players back, so they will, how they do and how they fare will make a big difference in these tests.
Texas fouled Crooks. Underneath makes the free throws. Cyclones trailed by 10 at the break. Taylor Jones now for Texas on the bench. A bit of foul trouble with 3 fouls.
Texas has that depth. Gets Deanna Gaston in the game.
Booker goes glass.
That is just pretty.
Talk about all the glowing praise. Forget about the stats when it comes to Madison Booker. Texas is going 11-3 without her. Getting 5 wins in a row. Addie Brown drops it down low for Crooks. Audie Crooks now is at the 20-point mark for the 11th time this season. Iowa State back within 5. Moore draws the whistle. That's a beautiful shot. We talked about that fadeaway. Aaliyah Moore hits the first. Bill Fennelly was so ecstatic when they signed her that he told his grandkids on signing day, this just might help you get another trip to Disney World. This could be a program-changing player. But after the free throws, Texas up now 53-46. Ariana Jackson looking for space. A little bit too far out. And a whistle down low is Gonzales.
She'll be shooting these free throws. She's got 10 rebounds for her team right now from a guard position. Just 4 points. Obviously, well talked about that she is one of the Jones sisters. There's 5 of them, all 4. They have the opportunity to play. They're old enough to play in college, have played college basketball.
Misses the second, does Jones. Gonzales to Gaston. Back to Gonzales, gliding through the paint. The sophomore seeing more minutes over the last month. And a foul right away.
Yeah, and Shaylee Gonzales, who was trying to deny the basketball to Jackson.
Coming into the game, they had made 18 straight free throws, including 14 of 14 in the overtimes against Kansas State. Holle calling for it. Gonzales forced it to her. 2 to play in the third. Jackson's got 8, gives it up to Crooks. Runs right into Shaylee Gonzales. Offensive foul. And the jacket comes off. Vic Schaefer. Usually that's a bad sign when the jacket comes off, but that was a good play for Texas.
It was
positive.
I think it was left over from the previous play in the turnover. Texas unsure about what they want to do when they get the ball inside.
The residue of the previous plays. This one bouncing around, and Iowa State comes up with it.
Well, and Texas is a team that makes their living on the glass and with second chance points. Last time I looked, they only had 3 second chance points. To check that stat again.
Iowa State has outscored Texas 16-12 here in the second half. Crooks out wide. Bellinger. Jackson with Holle all over her. So players in a bit of foul trouble now for Texas. Holle with 3, as well as Taylor Jones. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, number 1, South Carolina, taking on Georgia, 1 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Iowa State continues to hang around here in the second half. lot of whistles here in the final minutes.
These are some competitive young women.
Texas now 7 of 11 from the line.
Shooting 57% from the line on the season.
Makes the second. Gonzales again aggressive and forces the turnover. What a day for Shay Holle offensively and defensively. Gaston connects.
Yep. And that's the thing Gaston can do. It's something that Vic Schaefer, I think, has missed, not having her in the lineup for so many games this season. Out with an ankle injury, quite a few games. She is just getting back in the flow, and that is her shot.
Iowa State will hold for the final shot of the third quarter, down by 8. Ariana Jackson. Holle in front of her. 3 on the clock. And Iowa State nearly threw it away with 2.2 remaining in the third quarter. A discussion, and they did turn it over.
Just miscommunication with the freshmen out there. Saw Jackson and Crooks talking to each other. Didn't know what they were running.
Booker streaking down the court. And Texas will take an 8-point lead into the fourth quarter.
I thought it's a good place for Texas. Really love the number 1 seeds. I think there's a lot that's going to change here in the last couple of weeks of the season. There's a lot of parity in women's basketball as we look at the different regions and the committee rankings, early committee rankings.
There will be another reveal in 2 weeks, February 29th. Crooks starts off the fourth quarter with a miss in the paint. Ray Crooks now 8 for 17. Madison Booker. Wide open. Shay Holle doesn't get it to fall. Gaston reaches for it. Iowa State ball. Emily Ryan, shot clock at 7. The freshman Jackson trying to drive past Gonzales and over Gaston, but missed falling to the floor. Moore scans the floor, drops it off for Booker, racing to the bucket and draws contact.
They haven't been able to put quarter court defense and fast break together.
And Madison Booker makes the first. She first caught Vic Schaefer's attention about 6 years ago. She was already a star in 7th grade playing in Jackson, Mississippi. Vic was coaching a few hours away in Starkville for Mississippi State. And Madison's mom said, you know, he kind of reminds me of me. I think I want you to play for him.
Holds people accountable, tough, wants to win, competitive, those kind of things.
Absolutely. That competitive Vic Schaefer defense forcing another turnover. Booker, great dish to a cutting D. Gaston.
Absolutely.
Texas with their largest lead of the day, and a timeout by Iowa State.
Yeah, good timeout by Fenley. He needs to get some fresh bodies in there. Texas is able to run, take advantage of that depth.
The fruits of that growth, so many talented young kids, more and more coming up through the ranks. And you mentioned it, this year's freshman class, Booker and Crooks, a big part of that. Having a tremendous year. Addie Brown, part of that loaded freshman class. This is the first.
Woolston in BYU, who's just shooting the ball tremendously from 3. And obviously Shaylee Hurd, that's been a tough year for OSU so far, but she has played so many minutes for that team, and really her production has been tremendous.
The Cyclones, time becoming a factor for Iowa State. Less than 8 to play. Down by 11.
They need some buckets. They need some stops, and they need some buckets.
Madison Booker drawing the foul. You talked about buckets.
It's just so important for them to be able to get shots off, and Texas is going to hit a shot here at the free throw line. I think trying to get in transition a little bit, get your shooters some looks if you're the Cyclones right now.
Madison Booker makes both at her best in big games. 7 games this year against ranked opponents, has 20 points in all 7 games. Now, Iowa State may not be ranked, but this is a huge game on the schedule for the Longhorns as they extend their lead to 13. And Iowa State obviously showed a few nights ago they can pull off an upset. Booker drops it off for Shay Holle. Assist number 8 for Madison Booker. Back the other way, Addie Brown unable to answer, and Texas pulling away.
If you remember at the end of the first half, Texas had that 5-minute run, 15-2. They outscored the Cyclones.
Gonzales circling around the paint, nearly lost the handle. Jump ball, possession arrow, Texas. Booker again credited with the assist. Now with 8-1 shy of her career high. Jackson trying to answer for the Cyclones, and they just have not been able to get in a groove from behind the arc all day long.
Yeah, I think that's a really good look for Jackson in transition, but looking a bit winded right now, Iowa State is.
And again, this is a short-handed Iowa State team. Both teams short-handed, by the way, as Holle delivers. One of their two seniors, Naimir Dew, missing this one for Texas. Of course, without Harmon for the season. Been without Hattie Phi the past few weeks. As Emily Ryan with the bucket. I do want to mention that Emily Ryan, with 5 assists today, has reached 700 for her career. The outstanding point guard for Iowa State, top 3 all-time in Cyclones history. But back to Gonzales we go. She's up to 16. Her season high is 21.
Again, Texas just putting their foot on the gas right now, defensively and offensively, taking advantage of some tired Iowa State players.
Just over 5 to play in the contest.
Full force with Aoka Lee back and healthy. I know she played her game against Iowa State recently, but it was her first game back after missing 4 to 5 weeks. So health will play a big part for Kansas State as we see that terrific shot by Brown, as well as offensively, and then obviously Oklahoma State.
Off the turnover, 3-on-1, back the other way, and what a block by Booker! She is doing it all. Tomorrow on ABC, what a game this is going to be. #1 South Carolina and Georgia College game days there. Great afternoon of college hoops as Texas coming up the block out of the timeout there. The Longhorns up 72-56, and Madison Booker is getting closer and closer to a double-double. She's matched a career high with 9 assists. As Shaylee Gonzales now up to 18 points. 3.5 to play, and again, Texas forcing another turnover. Take it over here in the fourth quarter, outscoring Iowa State 16-6.
Chance to play for a regular season championship at some point if Texas continues their winning ways here.
Shot clock winding down. Shay Holle buries it.
That'll be an important game in the standings. See what they do. They're one of those teams that have been right at the top and tied for second place.
There have been upsets all over the Big 12 all year long. You mentioned Iowa State beating #7 Kansas State a few days ago.
Well, how about the games in the Pac-12 last night? There's upsets all over the country.
Oregon State, UCLA.
That was the most exciting game I've seen. I think that's the best finish I've seen to a game ever.
Taylor Jones turnaround jumper. By the way, Madison Booker has now recorded the second double-double of her career. And it doesn't have anything to do with rebounds. 18 points and 10 assists for the freshman. Crooks on the other end.
Number of rebounds she hasn't gotten today. Just 1 rebound for her. She's usually very good at the rebounding side of things.
Final minute and 15 seconds. Texas looking to hand Vic Schaefer win number 100 as head coach of the Longhorns.
I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure to watch Audie Crooks today on the interior for Iowa State. She's only going to get better and better. And this young Iowa State team has battled. They were in this game for quite a bit at the time. Just some runs by Texas. I think the depth of Texas got to the Cyclones.
They pulled within about 5, and that's as close as they could get. Aaliyah Moore, pure.
Four players for Texas in double figures. But again, the perimeter play, Holle, Gonzales, Booker have been terrific at the offensive end.
Final 30 seconds on the way from the Moody Center. Will Texas will move to 13-2 at home this year. 11-3 in the Big 12, 24-3 on the season. Iowa State will drop to 14-10, 8-6 in Big 12 play. Aaliyah Moore in the waning moments turns it over. Final seconds. And there it is as Texas takes down Iowa State 81-60. Vic Schaefer with win number 100 as head coach of the Longhorns.
Yeah, congratulations to Vic Schaefer.